Today we are going to make another addition to the MinisForum computer we built recently. This computer was built to host an AI system and has 96GB of memory. In our last video we added a front panel USB fitment hosting two USB 3 A-type sockets, and into one of these we have inserted a combined Bluetooth and Wi-Fi dongle. In today's video, we're going to make use of the connector on the motherboard intended for a mini Wi-Fi card. This slot is an M2 2230 key E-slot, but today we're going to make use of this to add a 5TB disk drive to this computer for archive storage. This particular computer has no SATA ports on the motherboard, and uses twin M.2 slots for SSDs. While it does have a PCIe x16 graphics card slot, which we could use for a SATA card, I'm saving that slot free for future use. The Wi-Fi slot is under the fan and very close to the CPU heatsink, so we're going to use a riser cable to get around this cramped space to allow the use of a SATA card to connect to our new drive. Before we go further, this little upgrade project didn't go quite as planned, but I'll step through what I did and cover what failed, the steps I took to debug the issue, and the workaround I employed. The MinisForum motherboard, although it doesn't ship with a Wi-Fi card, it does have a bracket for it, and the mounting points for the aerials. This little bracket can be bolted to the motherboard, securing it in place. We're not going to be using this bracket in today's project, but I thought I'd let you see it just in case you're planning on fitting a Wi-Fi card yourself. What we are going to be trying is one of these. This is a riser cable for the M.2 2230 key E slot, and provides the PCIe slot we're going to be plugging our SATA card into. So having plugged this into the motherboard, we need a way to mount the other end to the frame, to allow the small SATA board to be fitted. Working out just where to mount everything in a custom case like this is always an adventure, as everything needs to fit and not obstruct the airflow or cable management. And this is the small SATA board we will be trying out, which will provide two SATA ports, although we only need to use one for today's project. We won't be needing the mounting bracket, so we'll just unscrew this. The PCIe end of this cable has a power connector, so we'll need to add the modular SATA power connector to the HDPlex power supply. A little SATA power cable is supplied with the PCIe riser board assembly, and I think we'll mount this assembly to the side of the frame with some standoffs. So we'll get that fitted first, dismantling the side of the frame to slide in some bolts and fit the standoffs. Now you can see the SATA card fitted to the side of the frame. Next, we need to mount the 5TB 2.5-inch hard disk and add power and data cables. But just before we do that, this CPU fan has to go back in first. Then the frame with the hard disk can be bolted back into place, and we can go ahead and add our cables now. A little cable management, and the SATA power cable is now in place. I just need to locate a short SATA data cable and fit this between the SATA board and the hard disk. So here we are with everything now connected. You can see the new hard disk is sitting quite proudly above the CPU fan. The edge of the SATA board is now tucked into the slot of the maker beam, and the cable runs down to the Wi-Fi slot on the motherboard. So everything is now in place for us to test the system out. So here we go with the first test. So power's now connected, so let's power on and let's see how well it works. It's not looking too good so far. And after a few reboots, it's not getting any better and we're not getting past this screen. So the first step is to remove the Wi-Fi extender cable and a SATA card from the system and see if it returns to normal, which it does. Adding the Wi-Fi extender cable on its own causes no issue. Adding the SATA card, but not connected to the hard drive, causes no problem. Adding the SATA and power cables to the drive, and the system will not reboot. So replacing the SATA cable for the drive with a known good cable also makes no difference, the system will still not reboot. Perhaps it's the drive. Adding the drive to the system using a SATA to USB 3 cable proves the drive connects, so I quick format the drive and it looks fine. Connection via the SATA card once more, same problem, it will not reboot. Disconnecting the Wi-Fi extender cable and plug the SATA card into the PCIe connector on the motherboard, and the system fails to reboot once more. Perhaps we have a faulty SATA card. As the drive worked with a SATA to USB 3 cable, I can put a workaround in place and use one of the internal USB ports to connect this to the hard disk. It's not ideal, but it will give me access to an archive drive, so I'm going to leave the project as it stands, as I now have an archive drive I can actually use. But I'm determined to revisit this once I can prove that I have an operational SATA card. I'd be interested to hear if anyone else has tried this. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching today's video. Please feel free to click on the link in the description below to discover more videos.